Hi, I'm Flávio, and is this the presentation of paper 7 of the International Conference on Innovations in Bio-Inspired Computing and Applications, whose title is Software Defect Prediction Using Cellular Automata as Ensemble Strategy to Combine Classification Techniques. First of all, I would like to thank you, Escola Politécnica and PES, for supporting this research. The motivation for this research was born from the resolution of the challenge of predicting defects in software, where once it's done, it can result in decreasing software testing costs, which can result in better software quality and can result in less maintenance. For the challenge, we use cellular automata, a bio-inspired computation model to combine other classification methods in an approach based on CCA, presented in the literature in 2004. And for our solution, we use public datasets from the Promise repository, such as the NASA dataset program. Cellular automata are computational models with the intention of simulating complex natural phenomena, simplifying the rules. Probably the most famous cellular automaton is present by Gardner in 1969, where John Conway creates a two-dimensional game based on three primary rules of survival, death, and birth of individual cells interacting with the neighbors at each iteration. And from this is the possible to simulate and study complex behaviors resulting. Our solution is an ensemble method. That's it, a method of combining predictor classifiers in order to achieve better performance. Working from software source code complexity metrics, the classifiers will predict the effective modules and the solution will combine them into a self-organized system for better prediction. So, like Conway's Game of Life, we adopt a matrix where each cell has a predictor classifier. At each iteration, the cells interact with the neighbors based on a rule called the transaction rule, and we adopted a statistical attribute called energy for each cell, depending on whether it was right or wrong in predicting a module. Cells that reach zero energy will be considered dead, and a new classifier will be placed in their place. The diversity of the classifiers is important for the self-organization of the automaton to be manifest. Talking about the transaction rule, we apply this equation to each cell, where equal score is the sum of the neighbors that had a prediction equal to the cell in question. Not equal score is the sum of those that did not predict equal. The influence of the more distant neighbors' score can be reduced. The result of the equation is the amount that will be added to the cell's energy if the prediction is correct. Otherwise, the amount that will be subtracted. To show an example of case A, we want to apply the transaction rule to cell 6, which got their prediction right and most of its neighbors did it too. So, assuming all cells have energy 100, the result is an increase at 225 energy in cell 6 for the correct answer. In case B is another example of calculator for cell 5 that got the prediction right, but most of its neighbors did not. In case C, cell 3 got the prediction wrong and most of its neighbors got it right. In case D, cell 9 got the prediction wrong and so did most of its neighbors. And these are the results for each one. It's important to note that the transaction rule rewards the most correct cells in which the cell is in the minority relative to its neighbors, and rewards least those that are correct along with the majority. It punishes more the cells that predicted wrong along with the minority, and punishes less those that predicted wrong along with the majority. Then, in the learning algorithm for each iteration, a sample of the dataset is taken, and all the cells classify the sample, the transaction rules are applied, the energies are calculated, the cells that obtain energy below zero are replaced by a new classifier. And it redoes for all samples in dataset. One iteration is counted and the process is repeated. In the end, we have a matrix with a geometric organization of classifiers with a similar classification thesis and their energies that we consider the trained matrix. In the inference algorithm, we don't have the correct answers for the sample predictions, so we consider the majority answers as correct to apply the transaction rule. Another difference is that for each sample, all iterations are performed. At the end, a witness vote is taken of the cells of the resulting matrix with their energies. The result is the prediction of the sample. In the paper, we present two tables with results. The first one is comparing the CCA result with other conventional ensemble methods we apply to some NASA metrics data program datasets. We had a better performance results in some cases and worse in others. The second table lists results of research ensemble methods found in literature, and we have better or similar performance. The implemented CCA solutions showed promising accuracy results, and it can contribute to research on the self-organizing heterogeneous solutions that would fit as steps in modern machine learning pipelines. And for future work, it's possible to improve the relationship of the transaction rules, improve the energy management for itself in the system and its impacts, test predetermined initial conditions of the classifier pool and matrix, and other performance metrics can be applied to identify classification weaknesses. I would like to thank you for your attention, and any questions about the research, you can contact me or Eduardo, who will be happy to talk. Thank you.